Zero. It's all good.
Because they come to watch what was the best F1 Grand Prix of the year, which isn't wrong.
Probably not the worst Grand Prix of the year because I'm sure Bahrain took that.
Look,
took that and ran with
weirdly, Kevin Magnussen gave us a race for half the race.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It was fantastic driving by him, to be honest. I mean, you know, he held everybody up long enough to let Hulkenberg just.
Is it a stretch to say he's driver of the day?
No,
Because he got 20 seconds worth of penalties.
I mean, to be fair, that went to Ollie Berman, and
fair enough, it
fully
is.
deserved that. He was brilliant. Great drive from him.
Like, what, 36 hours ago? He was literally in the F2 paddock. Suddenly, right, mate, jump in the F1 car. What?
Oh yeah, he was in the F2 paddock, you know, gearing up to start racing first. And
yeah,
you know, signs happened, and yeah.
Which, to be honest, glad he's all good. Glad he's got surgery. And he's actually at the track today, just watching a race.
Yeah.
Still with his hospital wristband on.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't actually realise that's what happened. Like, I didn't realise in the fact that he didn't have the what do you call it on?
Wristband.
Yeah.
Oh, it's first Crofty I spotted, so I'm just going off what Crofty said.
To be fair, I was tweeting. I was keeping up with that.
I was as well.
The odd one, yeah.
Yeah, Musio K-Mag.
No, I was tweeting that much. I had blisters on my fingers by the end of it. I was just like, brr. And then I typed up one, and the laptop died. So, luckily, you swooped in with the K-Mag, you know, getting the extra time penalty, I think it was at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's good. I'll resume. But I'm back on it again.
No. That Hassan pace, though, again. As soon as Hulkenberg caught the pit, he just took off.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did. It seems to be still defying what we thought was going to happen.
To me, it seems like they sorted out the main issue they had last year. They've kept that pace, but they sorted out the tyre degradation.
Yeah. Yeah,
that car,
be done.
I don't know if it's a stretch to say it, but it's fifth or sixth fastest car on the grid.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's happened, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting them to be at the back and just struggling, but they're not.
Do you know what I'm chuffed about with this race? Sergio Perez has won his second race of the year.
I mean, he has, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you tweeted that as well earlier.
Charles on the podium with him, and so is Piastri.
Yeah.
It's mad. How we only have 19 drivers in the championship.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, just.
All jokes aside, Max won again. And it wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't even close. I mean, to be fair, there was a few good races from people across the board.
Yeah.
You know, Piastri did his best to try
the
and
straight line speed that McLaren is just a diabolical.
Yeah, which makes me worry because obviously their cars had a lot of issues at the beginning of last season, and then suddenly they were just rapid. So it might happen again. I hope not. Obviously.
See, from what I'm noticing, their car is very track specific.
Yeah.
Because that first sector, he was pulling a second to a second and a half on Lewis every lap.
Yeah.
And then Lewis made up in the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that car has got pace, but it's track specific.
Yeah, so it makes me worry about sort of high speed circuits.
Monza, Unless he improves, got no chance.
Yeah, but Monza's
Plus, their DRS is awful.
yeah, it is. I mean, Hamilton was keeping ahead, and he was just using the system really, wasn't he? He didn't have DRS or anything. He was nowhere near anybody else. He wasn't getting any advantage off somebody else. He kept it at bay. And Piastri did try a couple of times when he got close enough over the course of a lap. That the Mercedes looked terrible during the first sector.
Oh, he was lifting off. If you watch on the onboard cameras, he was just lifting off constantly. With the McLaren was just pouncing through it.
Yeah, which is odd because didn't they say to Russell a bit later on in the race that he could push a little bit harder going into that first corner?
Is that caused the fine on? It was after that. After he got through that chicane. It's the rest of that first sector. The Mercedes was useless.
Yeah, it was, and it did it right down the high speed and all that sort of general jazz. But
yeah,
and obviously set fastest lap. But it was on soft tires. Doesn't really count. Not really.
That Mercedes, I don't know. They said they had a good car this year. They were happy with it. It's worse.
I wouldn't say it's worse. They're in a better position to an extent than they were last year. Surely.
No. They know how. So, they should have got this year is. Last year, they had the zero side pods, but didn't know how to set up the car. But it was fundamentally faster.
Yeah.
This year, they know how to set up the car, but it's slower. It's overall faster than last year.
Yeah, of course.
But they haven't made the improvements needed to make it better in the pecking order.
Yeah, true.
Like, I think Bahrain was Lewis Hamilton's worst start first race, possibly in his career. I know it's been for a while. It might have been since he joined Mercedes. But, yeah.
It's to be fair, I'd jotted down a note earlier and said that is it the car or is Hamilton starting to go off the boil?
Not yet.
It's not long enough to be able to tell, but he hasn't won a race in ages. And whether that could just literally be down to the car at this point.
I think it's mostly down to the car at this point.
We'd have to see how he does. If they make good, solid improvements to the car like they did last year towards the end of the season, and see how he does then. But I don't think he's catching Red Bull. They're not catching Red Bull. It's a all right, yeah. Verstappen this time round didn't finish 22 seconds ahead, but
it was 18.
It was 18 seconds ahead next non-Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 18 ahead of Leclerc. So
yeah,
there shows that there's a possible minor weakness in the car, that it's still quick, still good, but street tracks might not be its best place.
I disagree. The only reason Leclerc was even that close is because the straight line speed in the Ferrari's immense.
Yeah, there was that.
Whereas that's the only part of Red Bull lack a little bit compared to them, but it's not like it's slow in the straights. It's just a little bit less than a Ferrari.
I mean, it'd be worrying if you get to that point and you've got a 1-2 finish for Red Bull for the full season. Like,
I don't think it's going to last for Perez. But if it does, then they've somehow made a car that works for both of them, and that's worrying.
Well, works for both of them, but obviously in the sense of gives Perez that second place. Not that he'll challenge Max.
Oh, he's not challenging Max.
He was catching up with him a little bit towards the end, but Max probably was going at half speed.
Just chilling.
Well, obviously not half speed, but yeah, he was just chilling as he was going around
the
track. So, it doesn't really say very much.
I think we saw Max first lap, 2 laps after the safety car, last lap.
Yeah.
That's how much he was on TV for.
Yeah, they barely spoke about him either, which shows, obviously, we're getting into that sort of era of someone's being dominant for too long. Oh, well, they've won. Look at that. They're first to start. Oh, still out in front. That's where we've got to. We had that with Hamilton. We've had that now with him. We've had it with Schumacher back in the day.
Yeah.
With Vettel probably as well. But they were closer challenges. they did have closer challenges compared to at some point within their stints of being the best team on the grid.
At least with Lewis Hamilton's domination era, we had in 2018 a half season where Vettel was challenging him till he went off the Hockenheimring. That still pains me, even though I like Hamilton. That pains me. That's a sad day for Vettel.
Yeah, it was.
That feels bad. Well, that was it.
Yeah, that was kind of game over in a sense at that point for him.
That's when Hamilton took the lead championship and just all changed then.
Yeah.
But then again, he had that challenge up until the Hockenheimring.
Well, yeah,
I
true.
think the last time Red Bull had a challenge was, again, Ferrari. But again, another iconic moment where Leclerc crashed in France and goes, no! Sorry. No! Yeah.
It's hard when you're sitting there watching and you're trying to take notes and you're trying to pay attention to every last little thing, and there's not really tons to go off of. You know, there was bits. Don't get me wrong. You know, you had a couple of crashes. You had Ricardo at the end just being like, "Hey, I'm still here." And yeah.
Did he get a tap? He said in commentary he might have got a tap, but look, he just span it to me.
But I don't think they showed it back, to be honest.
No.
Which is a bit of an issue for me. Anyway.
I feel like to me it was just a spin by Ricardo.
Yeah, I mean, it was going into.
If I'm wrong, apologies. That's what it looked like.
Was it going into turn one? Or coming
turn
out?
one, it looked like to me, just took too much care.
Yeah. To be fair, all I'd seen was that little bit, and obviously when you're just seeing a spin and you're seeing sort of stuff flashing past, you can't quite tell where it was.
No.
It looked like turn one, but obviously, yeah, if it is, then it is. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, we had Hulkenberg.
Quality. But Hulkenberg gets that point because of K-Mag.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, yeah, it's still good drive, and it was a good drive from both of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, he got the point because Magnussen pulled back enough and then gave him that nice little gap to fit into to have his tyres changed to come in for his pit stop. Yeah. That was obviously brilliant play by Haas, knowing that the 20-second time penalty was him done. Unless he was first, you know, at least then he'd still get points possibly, but they know he was done at that point. So why not? Why not take one for the team, push the entire pack back, and actually make quite a good race from 12th onwards? You know, from there it was a brilliant race. It was less.
Thank you, K-Mag.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, between what was it, Piastri and Hamilton, and then, well, K-Mag and everybody else at the back, those parts were fantastic. Everything else was just kind of, you know, jump in with Behrman on the odd occasion, be like, wow, he's doing fantastic, and you know, heap praise on him. But yeah, it was outside of that, it was boring. For the rest of it was fantastic.
It was a good mid-pack race, but we've been saying that since this domination started. To be fair, we've always been saying the mid-pack's close for years, but we're having to rely on it now just to have some good action, which I don't want to rely on it, but at least there's action there from time to time.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, even Alpine tried to get in on the action with Ocon.
12 today, weren't they? Were they 12?
Yeah, but only one finish. Something like that, yeah.
Look, Gaz's gearbox, it already knew what was going to happen. It's like, I'm an Alpine. I do not want to go through this myself. I'm just going to help. Going to do us both a favour. I'm going to end it for us both.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. To be fair, I'd seen a lot of the poor little Gasly fans that you see dotted around Twitter, all having a bit of a complaint and being how sad and awful it was for them. But these things happen.
Gazzy was probably cheering like, yes, I don't have to drive this car today.
Yeah, true. Stroll looked like he was upset. I thought maybe that, you know, Daddy was going to tell him off when he got back to the garage.
Naughty, you crashed my car.
He was sat there and looked very depressed behind the wall. And obviously he wanted to race, fair enough. But the way I was looking, I was like, oh, Daddy's going to tell you off. You know, it's going to happen when you get back. Shouldn't have crashed. To be fair, he clipped the wall. I mean, I've done, you know, obviously I don't drive F1 cars, but in the games, I've clipped that wall about 1,000 times and crashed into the exact same one. I've done it so many times around Saudi Arabia. I get it.
Well, both Astons did it. And London didn't clip it at 22, but he did clip one of the wall. I think it was in the first sector. He clipped the wall, but he just got away with it.
Front right wing was front right tire. Sorry, he clipped it, and luckily came away with no damage from what they could tell. Obviously, there might have been the teeniest bit, but scraping the wheel nut.
It was enough to stay ahead of Russell.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Definitely was. And saying that, actually, talking about wheel nuts, Sauber are at it again.
Oh my! What is going on with their pit stops? What is going on?
I don't know. I think they need to just sack them.
That's a bit harsh. It could be the equipment.
No, send them out on a training course. You've got 2 weeks. Send them off to like a remote place in Switzerland or something, up in the mountains, and do a team building exercise. This is how you change a tire. Just.
I love that you're there. It's that easy. Oh, go on, you go and do it.
I can actually. If I go up to Tottenham Stadium, they actually have a F1 experience where you can get to take tires on and off using the wheel gun.
That's really bad.
It is really bad. I need to go.
I want to go.
Yeah, maybe at some point.
When it's not so expensive.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, guys.
Give us money. Thank you.
Do not click that.
Don't click anything.
But can we also discuss as well as I don't want to sound I'm on a bashing train, but Sargent Albon's Williams is damaged.
Yeah.
And he stays behind him. He can't get past him.
It was slightly embarrassing, shall we say.
Williams didn't have the best weekend. I'm not going to say they were incredible and they should be in the podium.
Yeah.
But Albon has front wing damage.
Yeah.
You have the pace advantage.
You think you're about to get past. But to be fair, he was placing his car quite well at times. He did do a decent job. I think
to a point.
Obviously, he did a good enough job to stop them from getting past. And Albon's not a bad driver either.
Oh, Albon's a great driver.
Yeah. Very good driver.
I mean, he did do well. He actually passed Sonoda with that car, to be fair.
Yeah, he did.
Go on, give him credit for that one.
Oh, well done. Congratulations. Look at you giving credit to people. No? Is that too sarcastic for you? But, yeah, once again, bit of a boring race, wasn't it?
Oh, I see Jack again.
What happened there?
It just said reconnecting. I didn't know if you'd gone or if I'd gone, so I just...
Somebody left.
The internet.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe not mine. Yours, yeah, but not mine. No, I just left to go and see if I could find a better F1 race. Apparently not. Oh, thumbs up.
Cool.
Yeah, Apple reactions. That's what happens.
I'm just not gonna lie. Overall, I'm disappointed at the start of the season.
Yeah,
I didn't expect anyone to overtake Red Bull, but I was hoping it'd be a bit closer at least.
Or at least some form of race. Like I think, as I said it last week, I think we need to see Max mess up for a minute, make a mistake going around a corner during qualifying, or allow someone to get close to him and see if a race comes out of it for first place, even for second place. Perez could, make a mistake somewhere, obviously.
Well, he hasn't got that pressure on him.
Huh?
He hasn't got that pressure on him. He can literally just chill.
Yeah. He can. I mean, obviously, he still needs to perform a bit, but, try and keep his seat.
Does he?
He might need to.
He has free reign over that paddock. He could go to any team he wanted.
True. To an extent, yeah, maybe. Well, he could go to any team he wanted as long as they were not Red Bull.
Goes to V-Carb. I'm still calling V-Carb. I'm not calling RB. And they're getting called V-Carb. If they want that name, they're getting this stupid anagram.
Yeah, if you V-Carb, if you decide that you're going to watch and you want to be called RB, the price is £1,000 in cash.
Per time we say it.
And you need to drop it off somewhere. Yeah. And that's £1,000 each, not separate, not all together.
Yeah. That's every time one of us mentions it, you've got to give us £1,000.
Yeah. V-Carb.
Is that okay, V-Carb?
It was just a long race and it was a long watch and it was boring for the most part. I got very excited with the Piastri Hamilton bits. I was thinking, is he going to catch him? He did catch him as Hamilton was into the pit lane.
Credit to Lewis.
Yeah.
He defended quite well.
Especially
I'll give him that one.
Mediums as well, yeah. To be fair, tyres seem to do very well around that track. All tyres seem to do pretty well around that track.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is. Something in the air. Or just
it's because the surface that's on the track, it just doesn't wreck the tyres.
Well, it's still a new track, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only 4 years old. And to be fair, it's only probably going to be around for another 4 years.
Until we get the picture one where it goes.
Yeah, where people get to the top, forget to brake, and just go.
Yeah.
It'll be like the ending of Greece. People just flying off into the distance.
Or the old days of Monaco when they used to crash into the sea.
All that, yeah. That can't be safe, surely. Like, I'd worry, but it's all in the air still. It's not even being built. And hats off to Bottas for trying to say that he went a few years ago and it looked great. There's nothing there. Search on Google Maps. There is zero there. It is just dirt.
The dirt looks great.
Yeah, the dirt looks great. Yeah, I don't think it's really good for F1. But
no,
maybe they'll just carve
it's a one-off race going to be each year. It's going to be a valley race.
Yeah. What tyres would you use for that? The wets? Oh, they've got the grooves,
more grooves, so more grip, probably, yeah.
Yeah, we'd say that. Verstappen will go out on no tyres and absolutely demolish everybody.
Yeah, this is how we get Verstappen to not win a race. We do a rally race, Verstappen wins by 6 laps.
No, I've got it. We take his tyres off and we sneak away with them. Just get rid of all of his tyres. And then he turns up and he's like, I can't race. I've got no tyres. We forgot to bring them.
You probably just grab one of the chairs out the office and wheelie it down still.
Anyway, saying that, actually going back to the very, very beginning of the race, and given that you're not biased whatsoever, was it a bit of a bad start for Norris?
No, it was very strategic, right? He had a whole plan to where he uses that jump start to distract Russell to stay ahead of him.
Mind games.
Look, it looked like it was on the edge from the first 15. I'd need to see the other angle, which you never shown of it, like across the grid box.
Yeah,
but it mustn't be a penalty for one reason. There's a sensor for every grid box. If the wheel goes past that before the race starts, it's instant penalty. It's a slam dunk. It's like when you're speeding in the pit lane, where there's investigation for speeding in the pit lane. Choose your code. It hits the sensor. You can tell straight away it's over it. Over the 50 miles an hour, wherever the pit lane limit is that weekend.
To be fair,
so he must have been on the edge of going over the sensor.
Is there a possibility that as he's gone over the edge, the race has started? Literally, I'm talking, it would have been like 1,000th of a second. But
the sensor detects it. Unless the sensor just broke for that millisecond, the sensor detects whenever there's a jump start. Like it gives a tiniest bit of leniency on it. So he must have just stayed in that leniency.
We would need to look at it across the grid box because we've seen it from Russell's car and we've actually seen it from Lando's as well. Both of those angles, it looked like he was over, but it could have literally been a case of he was like on it that much. You know, like how sometimes your ball goes out in football and you think that's gone out. You look at it, it hasn't. It's actually still in.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I did have a look at that and I was a bit worried. I was like, is he going to get a penalty for that? Is that going to be an issue for him? So he came back, but
I've got a bigger issue than that though. Say that turned out to be a penalty, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that 12 laps into the race, race control stewards go, oh yeah, we're just going to start investigating stuff now. Yeah. 12 laps. Like, for say, God forbid, Max Verstappen somehow had a mechanical issue or crashed out, and hopefully he's safe after it, and he's somehow in the lead. You're then going to go, oh yeah, 12 laps for investigating it, so by lap 15 we'll have a penalty. It's happened to the start. You get your first lap instance out the way if there's any, so that should take 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah.
Then you move on to that. Like, why are they waiting so long?
I don't know.
It was sketchy yesterday as well when it was Hulkenberg, his car broke down. No yellow flags.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was in a dangerous part of the circuit.
Well, it took a little while as well, didn't it? Like for them to actually even bring it up. Like obviously he'd gone off and they were talking about it and they're like, oh yeah, he's gone off. But it took a little while and it was weird.
It was over a minute till the yellow flags come out.
Yeah, it was. You know, that could be a major issue.
Yeah.
You go off at a corner where people would crash. You know, like I was running it through my head of all the points where people could crash. Obviously, the more likely points where you would crash around there. And I was, you know, when that happened, I was like, well, hold on, that is one of those points. It is a point where somebody could go off. You know, where Zhou went off yesterday confused me. But like, was it yesterday?
No, practice free. Yes, so it was yesterday.
Yeah. That baffled me a little bit. I thought, it wasn't one of those corners I thought that someone would go off personally. But yeah, it's a major issue, and they need to be keeping on top of it because if they're willing at times to be like that with finding someone with points or whatever it might be, they need to be on it with the flags and for the cautions and the safeties of these drivers. You know, like it's not like, oh, someone's bumped into me, it's go-karting or something like that. And all that happens is you get a nice little friendly jolt. You know, it's life or death. If you've got someone coming at you at, what's the average speed? Jeddah, it's like 150, 160, isn't it? Something like that.
I'm not entirely sure on the average speed. I know the top speed is reach over 200 miles an hour. Like.
Yeah, I think it's about 210, 220, 213. Is that the top speed at that track? But you think if someone's doing that and their brakes fail, that is a lot of speed going into the side of you. You know, and especially if they've then not put up the yellow flag. I mean, they weren't even that quick with it with Stroll.
No, that one I'm not too fussed about because that was in an iffy spot where it's a red flag or a safety car.
True, but then couldn't you just yellow flag for a second, VSC it, and then bring it out, or just yellow flag that section because people know that there's been a crash there and that they might need to just be that little bit more careful. So they might drop down by a couple of miles an hour and take those because that corner there is a bit of a dodgy corner.
Yeah, the reason he might not have done that, and it's possible because Karun Chandler was talking about in the commentary. So Stroll was in, I think he was in 9th or 10th when his crash. So the back markers have went past them.
I suppose, yeah. So
and then they had that gap to Verstappen where there was no danger. So they probably just used. My best guess is they've used the time in between there to decide what's needed till it becomes dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'll let them off that one for now. Now.
Let's hope we're not talking about the FA all year, but that's the first issue I've had so far this year, so you never know.
Yeah, they'll probably get back up to speed with it. You know, maybe they're just still in their winter break. Or they're all reading from, you know, Red Bull and all the stuff that's coming out about them. To be honest, I think they're going that quick just to distract from everything else. So, well, you know, we can't escape the news, so let's try and be as fast as we can so we don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Although saying that, something that did happen over the course of the race is that we found out that Helmut Marko has had a conversation with whoever, and he's staying. He's not getting suspended.
So that means Max is staying as well then.
Which means Max is staying. Yeah, try and tie it back into the F1. I just thought I'd, in case anyone's missed that news whilst watching the F1, which, you should be, because it's thrilling to watch when you're 12th place. Yeah.
At least you didn't fall sick this week.
Yeah, true, yeah. Yeah, I have fallen asleep in the odd F1. I'm sure the next race is Australia. It's Melbourne. I love that track. I reckon I'll probably fall asleep because it is stupidly early over here in the UK. Got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Something like that, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Is that early?
It is a very early race. Hold on.
And I was saying, okay, it's Australia.
Hold on. I was saying that. I always go to Google it and then remember I've got the entire calendar in my calendar. So 2 weeks time. Yep, 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's qualifying or race or both?
Race is at 4 and quali is at 5.
Oh.
That's GMT, by the way, everybody, just in case you're worried.
Yeah.
2 weeks' time, we'll actually be watching qualifying. We would watch qualifying. We'll be gearing up to go and watch the race in 2 little hours from now. What's that for? 8 hours. Eight and a half hours. 2 weeks, 8.5 hours. That's how
I feel tired you just saying that.
Yeah, and obviously I'll definitely be up. Obviously, Josh may be working, but I'll be up.
I'll find out soon enough.
I'm not in on all weekend, so there's an upside.
Whereas I'm in, whatever I mean.
Yeah, true. Different jobs. That's what happens, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah. But
I thought that anyway. Yeah, so I guess Australia's the next race. Hopefully. Look, I'm going to say it. I'm kind of copying off P1, but I'm going to say it anyway. Red Bull can't win every race. That's what Tommy said at P1, and I'm going to reenact that. Hopefully, they can't win every race.
To be fair, Australia has got a lot of straight line speed. It's got a few. It's a quite quick track.
It never used to be.
It seems like a very quick track.
Yeah, no. So obviously, so after the first sector, you got the massive straight, haven't you? Like the windy straight. Never used to be that.
Okay.
So that straight you see, there used to be a chicane in the middle of it.
Oh, right. I know they've just got the one where you just do a bit of a left, a right, and it goes back into
yeah,
doesn't it? Well, sort of straight. It's technically a turn.
Yeah.
It's a straight.
But then so you do have 2 straights. So that actual whole middle sector is actually quite fast, but never used to be that fast.
Which for me could be quite worrying if we're, could be actually quite worrying for your little team over there. I think Australia might be the track where we see McLaren struggle a bit.
I think the second sector will be their best sector. Only reason I'm saying is that middle sector, no straight is long enough to get to the top speed. They're good at high speed corners. The only issue they have is DRS.
Yeah, and those are both DRS zones.
Yes, that's the issue.
Current DRS zones as well. If you've managed to get DRS in the first one, you've got it in the second.
Yeah.
There's no extra DRS indicator. It's not the right word. Indicator. Yeah, it just comes
DRS
up. Yeah, you haven't got that. So that could be a worry for them. That's what I don't think they'd finish outside the top 10 at all. Obviously, if they have a great race, they go out and no one crashes, no one has any mechanical issues or anything like that. But I think there might be a bit of an issue because you get the Mercedes up behind them. Mercedes will take them if they've got DRS.
Yeah. I think McLaren are going to struggle next weekend in the first and third sector.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I could see it happening. Obviously, we'd have to wait until qualifying, really. Maybe third practice, maybe. Which I'm not getting up that early for because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not up for that.
Don't want to do a V-card presentation again, no?
Well, I'd have been working till like 5 the day before, so no. No, I'm not getting up that early.
Don't worry, no one will you.
Use when you all wake up at a normal hour. Like I'd usually just skip Australia, which is weird. Last year I enjoyed watching it. I've enjoyed playing it on F123, where I famously beat Josh. And
Who's the current world champion or current season? Thank you very much.
yeah, good point. Yeah, and you are top of the thing.
Thank you.
I just picked the better race strategy and was gaining on you like something ridiculous.
That wasn't a men's race. I'll give you that one.
I was putting like a second and a half a lap on you. It was
I
ridiculous.
qualified first and you qualified 20th and won. That's a good race you had. So it's okay.
Gaining so badly. It was just something else. Even on the mediums, I was outpacing you.
My setup was just awful for that race. That's what screwed me.
I'll give you my setup and then you'll be able to race like properly.
My straight line speed was great, but then the rest it was like
No, but see, you were saying about obviously that the F1 cars aren't going to get hit top speed, but I was hitting 214 miles an hour down the straights. I was going.
I just don't think top speed is going to be a massive factor in terms of Australia. It's going to be more the acceleration.
Yeah, you need to be quick out the corners. Really do. It's less. It is literally less about the braking. At most, you're braking a little bit as you go around. You know, for them, it'll probably be like 10% on the pedal. Like most of them is like that. Some of them, obviously, they need to go slamming in. So the last couple of corners before the start finish like straight, yeah, there would be key areas where people might make gains. There's easy places to mess up.
Yeah,
you can go wide quite easily around there. But otherwise, there's not a lot of other places where you could gain. Not a lot. First couple of corners, maybe.
The first corner can be a thing spot to be brave enough.
And we've got a few people on the grid now that are brave enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a wild prediction for that race. Sargent takes somebody out.
Okay. I'm going to make another wild prediction for that race.
What?
Alpine are awful.
DNF for Alpine. I could see it happening.
If their car's unreliable and slow, that's just
It'll be Ocon this time. So it was Gasly last time. It'll be Ocon this time.
Then the race after that will be both.
And then at some point, it'll be both. So after that, yeah. No, I do feel sorry for them, but
yeah,
they're back to themselves, clearly. Everything's wrong. But we do have a video on that. Click on a link. It's the downfall of Alpine. You will see it. It's got a picture on it. A couple of videos. Well, it'll be a couple of videos ago from this one. It was before the Saudi Arabian.
Just the one before the preview.
Yeah, just the one before the preview, which Josh did. So Josh puts those up every race week. So give those a watch. It will be a bit later in the week from now on, obviously, because of the race week going back to normal. Well, yeah, going back to normal. And
hopefully this time I don't have technical issues where my editing software doesn't work, or my phone, or anything. So hopefully, by the time it comes to Australia, all my technical issues are solved.
This is why I do most of the editing.
I'll be getting a laptop soon, don't you worry.
All right. All right, anyway. Hope you all enjoyed. And any of you that do obviously watch this after this live, we will be back on our lives about half an hour or so. We're not like an F1 car. We need refueling. And
recover from the depression of a bad race.
See you in 2 weeks when Max wins again.
No! It's going to be Max's cousin. Max over Verstappen.
I am going to put up scheduled tweets for every single race weekend and put Verstappen wins. And see how many of those I actually get right. I was thinking about it earlier. I think that's what I need to do. And see how many of them I get right.
Okay, I would know.
Could be interesting. Could either work really well or for our YouTube channel and for our Twitter and whatnot. Or it could go amazingly wrong. This is where Verstappen doesn't win anything.
Everything on red.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right.
We'll see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.